It's that CSZ gang. They said pull up, so I came. You better put some respect on their name. Yeah, 55, what's goody? Kill the vibe, how could it? Big Cardinal on the hoodie. Let me break it down for you fully. This ain't your average broadcast. This ain't just no podcast. Them other shows spread fake news. We just call them broadcast. West, Joey, Sam, Shawn, and you know that boy Higgy. He said he don't want no small fries. Tell them they better make them biggie. Yeah, you already know what we be on. We got the crown, we hold the throne. We throw the mails and you take them home. When they ring the bells, you know that it's home. The bar set, we setting the tone. If we set it, then set it in stone. Sit in the seat, set up your phone. You in the Cardinal sports zone.
What is up, everybody? Good evening. Look, we're trying to do this a different time during the day on Sunday. Maybe we can catch more people live. At the end of the day, all we care about is our, our archived listens. I mean, we care about live listens, but we're doing this live because a lot of people wanted more of a fan interaction thing. So our podcast is still blowing up on all the charts. That's good, but we allow you all to jump in. Uncle Larry is in the house. Robbie Dull in the house. James Allen in the house. Dwayne Cross in the house. Chris Cross will make you jump. But we did this so that we could have. Hi, Michelle. There's our resident den mom. I guess I don't know what if you want to call her that. I just call her the enforcer. So say something sideways to me, and she'll make sure I see it and deal with you accordingly. But we're still playing around with the Sunday time. You know, maybe y'all like it earlier in the day, maybe y'all like it later in the evening. So, and we were told that it would be easier for some of our guys to be here, which if you'll see, I pretty much had to scrape the bottom of the barrel to get anybody to join me. No offense. Rito in the house, Master Yoda in the house. Now I feel like this is complete. What up, though? We are coming to you live from the Fitness Market Studio North. This is the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Wahman. I'm what you would call like the originally verified Twitter person. Shawn, you're more like Twitter Blue. You're the verified guy that, and then Higgy's he's the new one that nobody's heard of. Where if you join DoorDash for an entire year, a Dash Pass, or you get the third level of verification on Twitter. So
he was the bot that they were like, oh, he's actually not a bot.
No, he's a bot. All right. What's up, family? I appreciate all y'all joining in with us. We got some tidbits for y'all. We got some juiciness. So Jeremy, why won't you apologize to Satterfield? Damon, what's good? Go Cards. Let's go Louisville men's soccer. I thought they lost the other night in the tournament.
They did.
Okay. The honorary Oos, what's up? Tom TJ, what's good? Hope everybody's good. Yeah, a fantastic day today. Again, chat lines open. Y'all can tell that. 2 weeks in a row, we've had somebody say something silly. We don't want to make it 3 weeks in a row because honestly, I don't want to go to that place that I've had to go the last 2 weeks, even though it has made members of the basketball and football staff laugh and tell me to calm down in a laughing way. I do not don't want to do that again. What's up, Deshaun?
You don't want to give in to the voices in your head like
no Randy Orton here. Again, as always, if you want to support us monetarily, underneath my microphone is the way you can do that. If you want to follow us on all the social media, what's up, Wes? Underneath Shawn's scraggly beard face, you can. At least he's not in the bathroom this week, y'all. He came to the crib to record. Higgy's still in Nashville. Higgy's the bad luck. Did you notice that Higgy moved to Tennessee and Hendon Hooker tore his ACL and is out for the season?
Yeah, but
that's all. That's all on Higgy.
That he's covering Vandy now, and look at them. I mean,
that's true. That's true. Mad at Satterfield wanted JT to kick one more field goal on the last drive. Check the tape. Had 28-10 and getting to their fourth-string quarterback. Look, that wasn't even their fourth-string quarterback. That was their scout team quarterback.
Correct.
Which is probably the same thing as their fourth-string quarterback. I don't know. What's up, Nick? Who's next? Well, we know who's next. I'm so mad I couldn't watch the women play. Yeah, that Florida hoops. Like, why do they have extensive rights to the Atlantis? I don't know. Carrie said, if things start going to the toilet, you should do the show in the bathroom. Hilarious. That's where Shawn normally does it from, and we don't ever see his hands, so it's kind of worrisome when we do these shows. Dalton making a speedy recovery. Listen, I don't know where Dalton is. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's see. We may have had our first person to get put on the list today. Oh, okay, no, never mind. Never heard of it. I thought they were saying something else. So no, we Kentucky NASCAR, what is up? How you doing? Dalton, as y'all heard last week, asked us if we had to go to the bathroom so hard we had to take our clothes off, and that's never occurred with me. My dad, at the end of his life, he probably needed it. Y'all made me feel bad about missing the last show. Look, you weren't you and Yoda weren't here. I found a Facebook page where the women's full game was streamed. I watched it all. Well, look, if you find that for tonight, let me know. Tag me on Twitter, and I'll get it out to the masses. I appreciate you bringing that up. But no, man, Dalton, we don't. I think he's pretty wiped out right now. Wiped out. Okay, it is what it is. Hey, look, this is the best part about having Higgy on the show when he's just sitting there and he's not talking. Is A1 Higgy.
We need to bring back pronounce this.
Look, we do have it kind of. He sends me rapid fire with 100 grammatical errors in it every week, and we Yoda, you were gaming. Okay, so is this and I've even got news about NCAA football. Look, this is your full coverage Louisville sports show. Like, but were you gaming like at Derby City, or were you? No, I wasn't on y'all's. I was like, man, I wish my regulars were here. Wink, wink. I'll go ahead and tell y'all that here in a second. Update on the Peter Painters. I'm keeping them away. Higgy, have the cameras kept the Peter Painters away?
Yes, they have.
Okay. Seems like every ranked team in the battle for Atlantis lost that I saw. Louisville, Texas, and Tennessee. Yeah. It don't know what it was. And actually, I've got another name for him today. It is the dastardly dangling dongs that were painted on the side of your house. So Xbox. Okay. I don't know. Do we forgive him for playing Xbox over listening to the show?
Was he playing with like a nephew, child?
Look,
maybe?
dude, all of us that are around this age play games, and we don't need nephews or children. We are the children.
Good point.
Higgy had big dick energy on the side of his house. We know. Come on. Wesley wants to know if I can say something. Hint at I can't. I was asked not to, and I actually got in trouble for even mentioning it last week. So, and when I say trouble, I mean they ain't gonna do nothing. They just won't tell me no more information. Online gaming is addictive. It can be.
It can.
All right, let me get the shtick in, and then we'll get back to the text line. Always a very entertaining part of it. Actually, it makes the show, honestly. Without them, it's just me talking to you and Higgy. And who wants to listen to that? I don't know. Shout us out on Twitter. If you enjoy listening to the show, we appreciate that. And don't forget to hit the like button while you're in here. Smash it down. Hit it 3-4 times if you can. I don't know if it counts. It is what it is. We're going to be doing the show today a little bit differently. Normally, we do our recap show on Sunday, our preview show on Thursday, but Thursday is Turkey Day. It's Higgy Day. It's Higgy.
It's Higgy's Christmas.
It's Higgy's Christmas. So we will not be coming to you Thursday. Friday would be impossible. That's Black Friday, and for a lot of people, they do Thanksgiving with one side of the family on Thursday and the other side on Friday. So, and then Saturday, what would be the point doing the show a couple of hours
before the game?
The game,
yeah.
It just would not be beneficial monetarily. Now, that's not saying that I won't hop on at some point Friday night or Saturday morning just to shoot the bleep with y'all, but the Twitter's even going. Man, I love this. Was my favorite part about CSZ on 93.9. So when me and Steve and Justin started CSZ and got on 93.9, a lot of my friends and family was like, man, don't you hate not being the host of the show? And I'm like, no, the Twitter line from the time we got on, sometimes 3 hours after we went off the air, I would answer the questions. I would read them. I didn't have to host the show. I know it seems glorious, but hosting the show is a lot of stress. It's a lot of pressure. I mean, not for me, because pressure is a privilege. Pressure creates diamonds, and I shine brighter than anybody here per pound. Let's see. Facts. Friday is leftovers day. Yup. Did the recruits enjoy the game yesterday? Rito, we'll talk about that here in a minute. I do want to talk about that because 30 minutes after the game, my DMs were lit up like Higgy at a DoorDash counter. Everybody's leaving. No, but nobody showed up. No, that's not. We'll clear that up for y'all a little bit. It was cold. Let's jump in real quick. NC State 25-10 victory over them. We did better defensively than I thought we would against them, and nobody knew. And so all of the guesses, all of the predictions were skewed because none of us knew that the third string quarterback was going to be. Oh, that's not true, because if you listen to me on the NC State podcast on Tuesday or Wednesday, he told me that the third string quarterback was probably out, or the second string quarterback was probably out, and they were probably going to have to go with the third string quarterback, to which I tweeted it out. So if you follow me, you're always up on game. And I'll let y'all know that Brock was probably going to be starting the game this week. I will let y'all know Tuesday or Wednesday what Malik's status is as far as what I'm hearing. I was told last week they weren't sure if he was going to even play another regular season game, but it's looking like he's making a lot of progress. So I think it truly is at this point, day to day. NC State was 24 in the ESPN poll, right? I saw 0 highlight. They're 24 in the college football playoff poll. They weren't ranked in any of the other polls. Jordan did give Javian vibes yesterday, Chris. Absolutely. Michelle says, leave Higgy alone because I subscribe to Dash Pass. Thank you. Oh, Jesus. Rito, Jordan was in his bag this game. Master Yoda says we're going to beat suck, which I want to believe it, guys. And I'm not going to be your Debbie Downer. I'm not going to be your AM radio host that just diarrhea is all over the football team all the time. I'm going to tell you, I'm just not sure we can beat them because of our offense. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be. That's why I don't really feel comfortable with a prediction tonight, even though I'm going to ask y'all for y'all predictions. Hopeful for a Malik and Tyon return. Tyon, a lot of people are surprised by it. Tyon played yesterday.
He did. He
played one drive, two plays. It's both, Chris. It's his shoulder and his hand. What's up, Fabian? I just, if it's Brock and as bad as they played lately and then being at home, I would give them the slight edge. But if Malik is playing at full power, which I don't know how you can after whatever he had wrong with his shoulder and his hand just 2 weeks ago, it's going to have to be us running the ball down their throats and not. I'm spending Black Friday in Lexington bugging BBN fans all day. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Uncle Larry. Is a 70% Malik better than 100% Doman? Yes. A 50. And y'all know I like Brock Doman. And this is not me. When I talk negative, it's not even negative. I'm telling y'all my opinion. See, there's a DoorDasher at his door. He left the screen. It's not that I don't believe in Brock. I think Brock played serviceable yesterday. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't like, but a lot of stuff I did like. And he played well against Virginia. But you're talking about Virginia, the worst team, one of the worst teams in the conference.
Oh, some of those throws were so easy once he was able to get in rhythm because they were terrible. They couldn't cover anybody.
Right. And then yesterday, playing the scout team quarterback, who still did better against us than he should have. I just don't know. May the cards be with you, 55, always. I know. I can't make a prediction because I don't know who's playing. It's really that simple. I do know that their quarterback, Mr. NFL first-round draft pick, has thrown 10 interceptions and 17 touchdowns. I guess that's okay.
And you got to think against most of the competition, you got those 17 touchdowns was MAC schools and
Doo-doo water. Yeah. Doo-doo water. Do I think Jordan and Owens run the show next year? Absolutely. Which brings me to my point I was going to bring up about Travion Cooley and Jalen Mitchell. I don't think they're with the team any longer. I have not seen anything officially from U of L. I have heard from some other coaches in the United States that have told me they believe that they're going to get them. So we'll see. So yes, I think Owens runs it. I was talking to Steve Rummage about this before the show, and let's see what's up. Okay, Ruben Owens just seems like by watching this film, he don't seem like one of these prima donnas that will take plays off and just play. He seems like a monster.
Every play, 100%. You can see it.
And Jawar Jordan will be probably the best third down running back we've had in a long time. So I do think Owens is our starting running back. James says we must get the lead on UK early so we can continue to establish the run. Yeah. Wes says they hung 247 yards rushing on them. I think we can get close to that. Oh, for sure. You can bet UK will try to start a fight before the game. Yeah. Yes, the one they compared to Lamar. I hope Yaya and Yasir light Levi's, and that's what I'm going to call them because that's what the blue jeans were called. It was spelled the same way, and I don't respect that L's down toting mother sucker. I have a feeling they're targeting Brownlee a lot. You think?
Oh, boy. Yeah. What was funny was everybody's like, he had a great game. He had 4 pass breakers. Well, that's because they were throwing the ball towards him every play. It was literally, where's Brownlee? And they literally threw it. Didn't care if he was covering that guy perfectly or not. They were throwing it.
Great question. I think, honestly, they were just saving Tyon for this week. I think they wanted to rest him up, get him a couple. If we win the flip, should we take the ball or kick first? Kick.
Yes. Kick.
Away, kick. Home, take the ball first, I feel like. Do you think we will be okay defensive-wise next year, having a lot of guys leaving? Very uncertain about that, but I don't know what they're doing in the portal. So, again, a little bit too early to comment on that. Master Yoda says defense is going to show out. They remember this is our national championship. Did y'all ever think that we'd be in a part of our lifetime where we were saying, hey, Kentucky is our national championship game? It makes me sad. Release Quincy. Quincy played well yesterday when they let him play. I mean, he had the interception at the end of the game. They definitely went hard after Brownlee. Hey, Bubba Ray said Higgy must have farted. He did. We definitely need Tyon next week. Yeah, Tyon and Jahar are going to absolutely make them eat their lunch. Brownlee needs to make sure to turn his head around.
God.
Brownlee needs to make sure he turns everything around because he was the reason at the beginning of the year. One of the what's up, Brad? One of the few reasons I'll say that what is going on here?
He could have had a pick 6 last night. There was a play.
Oh yeah,
where if he turns around, it's a pick 6. If he just turns around, he never turned around to look for the ball. It's
absolutely,
like, come on, dude.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm sitting here on the wrong feed for the show. It was playing last week, so I was like, why are they talking about go Louisville soccer? Never. Speaking about against UK, I think UK will target. Yeah, they should. Trey Clark played really good. Trey Clark has been playing good.
Oh yes, they didn't throw to his side, but one time they almost got picked. He should have picked it, but ended up going for a touchdown. It happens sometimes.
Look, Michelle, I love when she asks me questions because I love pointing the finger right back at me. And anybody that listened to the show can tell you. Monty laughed when asked about the next game. I think the defense is going to destroy that banana peel eating mayo guy and the coffee drinking son of a. Maybe. Bubba says they're not our Super Bowl. I hate to refer to them as that, but at this point, they're definitely the game that's going to take us from playing in a cold atmosphere for bowl game to warmer pastures, warmer horizons. Higgy, what are you raising your arm flaps up for? What happened?
Bengals just scored.
Really, dude?
And you thought I thought somebody was going to say something stupid on the internet. So you thought that taunting a Steelers fan was the best way for you to stay on the show tonight? Can't even watch my own team. Sucks. Start Quincy next week, no question. I would, for sure. Michelle said, so who predicted the record would be what it was after the BC game? Hello. I said we'd win every game but Clemson on the rest of our record, which would be something not a lot of people said, oh, that's a hot take. No, I just had faith in this team. Brownlee does lack awareness sometimes. He did have a nice pay. Well, yeah, but you have the opportunity to have nice pass, a lot of those when they're throwing the ball at you every single play. I said 8-4 at the beginning of the season. I remember you saying that. He made nice plays, but he also got burnt. He is very hit or miss. That is for sure. No, I want him to succeed. I like him. He saved the Central Florida game for us with the interception in the end zone. I always talk about the good end.
He's a good tackler too. He reminds me a lot of. You remember Tremaine Washington?
Yeah,
that's who he reminds me of. Tremaine would have great.
Tremaine got burnt a lot,
but he would get burned. Exactly.
Okay,
that's exactly who he reminds me of.
Proud of our O-line. I didn't hear false start number 56 unless I wasn't listening. O-line. I don't know what's happened to the O-line the second half of the season, but they've also been very spotty. Does Clarkson start next year? I don't know. I would assume so. I don't know for sure unless they bring this guy in that they're talking about behind the scenes. He starts next year. I think our defense is way better than last year. Maybe we beat the Smurf turds and correct the universe. I sure hope so, Brad. Tell Higgy to get the Big Mac out of his mouth so we can understand him. What corner don't get burnt? Don't worry, I'll wait. That's true. As much though, I mean, they both had very, very high ratios. Average honky in the house. Average honky said, I don't think the NC State game was ever really close, even when the game was at 13-10. Seemed like a fluke drive for NC State. I'll agree with you there. It never felt in danger to me, no matter what. Even at 3-3, I wasn't. What's up, Chuck? What's up, Kevin? I didn't.
It was there was a bad call on that drive. There was a pass interference call, I think, that wasn't. I didn't think it was, and it kept the drive alive when it shouldn't have been. And that was also the drive where Keytrell nearly picked it off. He was like inches away from picking it off and instead went for a touchdown. So it was a little bit of a fluke.
Absolutely. Let's go. James says, early weather forecast looks good and 48 degrees. No complaints about cold weather ever again. My son is a band member at Montana State. Side of the coldest game day ever. Brawl of the Wild. Okay. Gut feeling on DeAndre Moore. Look, I asked specifically about DeAndre Moore yesterday and was told that they felt really good about him still. Bold projections, we'll get to that in a minute. Win the next two, and we're top 20 preseason, especially if we dominate the transfer portal. Don't turn around and look at the TV. Okay, so that means I know. Higgy, you're close to it. Why would you cheer for the opposite team against me? You're a Ravens fan? Nobody heard what you said. It sounds like you're chewing on your neck.
He had something. That's all.
I said that.
What?
You said what?
What?
That's the reason I'm cheering for the Bengals.
What a dick. Rito says, I love defensive type of games. People hate them, but I love them. I do too. Yeah, the ball was underthrown, so the receiver ran into our DB to get the PI on that drive. Bowl Music City. Yeah, which neck was he chewing on? Not sure. Brian's predicting Music City versus Arkansas. I've heard either out west or down in Florida. Fully expect a packed spring game. We need to show out. Higgy's got the best interwebs. Look, Master Yoda, he's a Ravens fan. I never hold that against him. I'm going to start holding it against you, though, because that, like, honestly, who sits there and cheers for a team that's not theirs against the host of the show that they're on? Like, that's just unintelligent.
You got to be Switzerland, man.
Well, no, I just kicked him out of the show.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
Oh, Higgy.
Nah, he's back. Shoot. ACC doesn't have Music City ties anymore. There you go. We can't see your neck, Higgy. That's a good thing, Rito. All right. So we played decent on offense. We played really well on defense, I feel like, leading us up to well, first off, let me get your thoughts, Shawn, on the game Saturday, if we haven't already said it.
My thoughts were the offense did enough to win. All right. And the special teams, let's be honest. Special teams, James Turner, 4 for 4.
Yeah.
Field goals. And then you had Jawar Jordan, 100 yards rushing, even though NC State was selling out to stop the run. And we still got a 100-yard rusher. That is amazing. But the defense was the name of the game. It was the story. Yasir Abdullah, two big sacks. One.
Yasir.
Yeah. And then
TJ's back in again. What's up, TJ?
You had Momo Sanogo with, I think, the play of the game. 4th down.
Oh, yeah.
And 1. Knives through. They had us too.
Don't you mean Momo? It's a no-go.
Correct.
Thank you.
But if he doesn't knife through and make that play, he gets that because they caught us. Yeah. We were lined up, ready for that QB sneak. That was a good play call. But Momo Sanogo has proven to be I could argue, the leader of the team. He stepped in as a grad transfer and has been a difference maker.
And that's really, I mean, honestly, if you think of it, that's good for us because that shows any potential grad transfers. Hey, you can come here and dominate on a great defense. You can still come in and contribute exponentially. Rito says, the special teams was huge this game. James Turner MVP. Sorry. Bubba Ray says Higgy equals Herdider. Honky says Brock missed 2 walk-in touchdowns.
Oh God,
but it was a fine game overall for the offense. That's why I said the offense was good, but the defense was great.
Brock, man, I just remember that one pass. He was wide open the sideline. He threw a 100-mile-an-hour dart, and I'm like, dude, just float it. There was nobody within 20 yards of him. He could have stood there and waited for 10 seconds, and nobody would have gotten to him.
Everybody that was sitting there, I was actually cheering when Dave Doran called that pitch on 4th and 1 where he threw the ball 5 yards backward to the guy that got swarmed. What a horrible play call. All they had to do is just run it, just quarterback sneak it like they had been. Rito, I don't know what's up with this team's inability to score once in the red zone. Maybe we don't have a lot of plays dialed up other than run play. It sure don't feel like.
He was afraid when Brock Doman threw that one, it almost got picked.
Yeah,
it
but
almost
it's not
got
just
picked.
Brock that we can't score behind. Malik, we can't score once we get in the red zone.
He's afraid to throw the ball. He doesn't trust him to throw it. That tells me that's all I need to see is we very rarely throw it, and it's because he doesn't trust them. And
Pete would like to see you in the office after the show. Just kidding. No, it's. I think we need more creative calls in the red zone.
Yeah,
we need to. And look, I love watching Malik run in for touchdowns, but I like to see him pass for some too. How is Yasir not up for ACC Defensive Player of the Year?
Great question.
Had better stats than all 3 dudes ACC because they're hating on us because we had a tight start. Shawn said it was a good play call. Who said that? My Shawn or somebody else?
I did because I thought they caught us for a second. Because our guys were right up on the line. They were right on that. They were right over the center, waiting for him to sneak it. And then they tossed it. If Momo doesn't get there, there was a lane. There was a lane to get
Momo
more than a first down.
Said it's a no-go. We all know what Malik is going to do when he gets the red zone. Yeah, it's handoff, field goal.
Or keep it.
Yeah, run a play, field goal. You think Malik will be ready for the kiddies? I hope so. I think it truly is 50-50 right now. Aaron would like to see more crossing routes in the red. Yeah, honestly, Brock has done pretty well with crossing routes.
True.
So I don't know why we didn't see that a whole lot more. Ant and Hunter joining us. What up? Yoda laughed and said no. Oh, okay. Yeah, but we all know what Malik's going to do when he gets to the red zone. We love the fade to the corner of the end zone. That's basically the only pass play we run in the red zone. Absolutely.
And we run it to the short guys. Wouldn't you run it to the tall guys? Why would you run
Yoda, you never pitch the ball backwards. That's what I said to Joey. Me and Joey were watching the game here Saturday. And I said, you're inches. It was 4th and inches. It wasn't even 4th and 1. And you throw the ball like 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. You toss it. And that's what happens. Like that, they deserve to get snuffed out like that on the. And coach, to his credit, showing the respect for them, he did. He wasn't trying to kick a field goal. He wasn't trying to. He did pull out that pass play that we almost got the touchdown on that made me kind of scratch my head a little bit, but it is what it is. Would love to see more slants. Chris Wood Hunter says, what is Higgins' assessment of the game? Louisville versus Kentucky game next week. I've been writing his picks to fortune and fame this year. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic. Wesley says, with the guys coming in, we need to run different sets, especially two-back sets with Owens and Jordan. Like that. Higgy, I'll ask you for your assessment here in a minute. Not yet though, because your internet sucks, just like Dalton's. Aaron says slants work phenomenally. I wish we did them more often, especially with Higgins. Bruce, yeah, me too. I really hope he stays around. You know, there's been the rumors that he's hopping in the transfer portal too. That's the one thing I never understood, why we went after so many top wide receivers when this offense has always been 75-25 rush heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just didn't make a whole bunch of sense. All right. So Higgy has a name. Yes, that's so he doesn't forget his name, Hunter. What's up, Matt? Okay. All right. So let's jump in. 3 p.m. Saturday on the SEC network, which is one letter away from being the closest Shawn ever gets to that. The Cards are a 3-point underdog, which means basically it's a coin flip because they always give the home team 3 points off top, but we are favored to win via the FPI 56% chance to win the game, which is still not a gimme.
That's basically 50-50.
But at the beginning of the year, they had it was 80-20 Kentucky.
Yeah.
So we made up a lot of ground and took the lead there. Over under is 43 points. Will Malik play? I don't know. Top 25. Did we get snubbed? Should we be in the top 25 this week? We lead the country. I saw earlier we have 5 wins, which is the most in the entire NCAA FBS. 5 wins versus teams that have 7 wins or more. We lead the country in that. I feel like, and our opponent next week doesn't give us the opportunity to beat a 7-win team. So thanks for that. So yeah, I felt like we should have had more. Even when I looked at the votes, we had 9 votes. We were like 32nd, which last week we were 32nd, and I felt like we had more, but it was 32nd place, and we had 9 votes. It is what it is. Here's the tell of the tape, though, for the game this week. Malik Stone for 50. If he plays, he's Stone for 1,552 yards, passed for 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 63% completion rate. Levi's 502 Jeans has Stone for 2,218 yards, 10 picks, 17 touchdowns, 66% completion rate. But wouldn't that be a little higher if you factored in the 10 passes that he's completed to the other team? I don't know if that counts or not. Malik's rushed for 561 yards and 11 touchdowns. Their leading rusher has rushed for 780 yards and 6 touchdowns. Pretty close there. I mean, 200 yards difference. It is what it is. T. Huddy is 49 yards away from 1,000 on the season, which you would have thought
amazing
3 games ago he would get close to 1,000. He's been balling. Their leading receiver is somebody named B. Brown. I hate that name. 560 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. Louisville's points per game is 28.5. Kentucky's 21.7. Each team has allowed the exact same amount of points this season. They are both giving up 19.6 points per game. U of L is winning the yardage 414-3. That team down there with the number 1 pick in the NFL draft is only averaging 335 yards of offense a game.
That's because they suck.
We're averaging 414, but they're beating us defensively. They're only allowing 321. We're allowing 347. Keys to the game for me, defense is really the biggest factor here. You got to rattle them and make him pass and create turnovers. He's already shown that he can throw a bunch of interceptions, and we've shown we can force teams to do that. We need to play emotional and I don't like to say violent, so I'll say aggressive on defense. Mm-hmm. We also have to cash in on points after turnover. We didn't do that against Clemson. That ultimately cost us the game and the fact we were playing against 14 people. Hi, refs. How do you feel about the game against? I feel like, honestly, right now, not knowing who the starting quarterback for us will be, I feel like it's a 50-50 ball game, and I think that's why the odds makers have put it that way too. How do you feel about the game, Shawn?
What I feel like is this is going to have to be very similar to our performance against NC State. The defense is going to have to they're going to have to bottle up Chris Rodriguez, and they're going to have to get in the backfield and make Will Levis pay endlessly all night long. That guy should be on his back. By the time he gets up, he should have grass stains all over him. Maybe a little blood coming out of his nose.
Is that how he throws his L?
But offensively,
I don't know. I've never thrown it.
Offensively, the offensive line's going to have to be better than they even against NC State were, because against NC State they were actually good towards the end. They actually started getting some push, and that's why Jawar got those 100 yards. It wasn't just him making plays. It was the offensive line started to assert themselves. They got to come out and assert themselves immediately, because we're going to have to be able to run the ball. So if it's Brock, we can do more play action, because I think Brock is a better play action quarterback than he is straight drop back, read the field. I think he, with the play action, allows him to then read the safeties and then make a good throw, which he usually can. I don't know what happened last night with a couple of throws. Like I said, I didn't understand the one where he just threw it like 100 miles. I'm like, dude, float it. Other than that, it's just a matter of mistake-free football. In the end, we need to make them make mistakes, and we've got to play mistake-free. No turnovers.
All right, Higgy, I'm going to give you a chance. And the second you start going, I'm just going to cut you off.
What's the question to me?
Oh my God.
You're already up. The question to you is, how do you feel the game's going to go this Saturday?
I believe with you guys, it's going to be a fit who the quarterback is. But I think Brock's shown us in the final game when he needs to. I'm not down him. I'm not down of Malik plays. We have to get the running game started.
Okay, you're done talking.
Translation, it matters who the quarterback is, and we need to have the running
game. No, the translation is what y'all said. Wes says, I would say a two-sided tight end set, but Marshawn has made it known this week he's gone. I didn't.
What?
What?
I mean, he's going to go.
He's a senior.
Yeah,
right?
He's a senior. Yeah, he just celebrated Senior Day. So, yeah.
Redshirt.
Yeah, he's gone. He was part of Senior Day. He'll play. Now I don't know if he'll play the bowl, but I guarantee you he will play against Kentucky.
Honky says, we went after so much top talent at wide receiver position, but they hardly get separation to actually catch a pass. For sure. Mike Puckett says he needs to find a place to go to watch the game since he doesn't have the SEC network. Y'all going somewhere? Invite him out. He's good people. Aaron Walker says AHB's mom commented on his transfer rumor saying to enlighten her because, well, I mean, she's going to say that. I'm not saying she's not telling the truth, but I've heard from a couple of people that I trust that it's a possibility. So it is what it is. Yoda kind of jumps in on the other comment. I believe our wide receivers don't have the speed for separation. Uncle Larry says weather shouldn't be a factor Saturday. Temperatures around 60 degrees, sunny and clear. What's up, Joey? I'm Joey Strader. I'm kind of mad at him because he's never invited me to come down and sit in the Pepsi Club and watch a game. So Fabian says we need to play angry. Excuse me. Yoda says we have to stop the run game. Oddly enough, their run game's not as impressive as you would think.
Yeah, Chris Rodriguez had a couple of good games.
Yeah.
But he's also been not like the Chris Rodriguez that everybody's known for the last couple of seasons.
Chris said, but that's against Vandy, Missouri, Florida, and Georgia offenses, Jeremy. Yeah, I don't think anybody would use Vanderbilt, Florida. I get the joke, but I'm like, those are actually the MAC teams that they played earlier in the season are probably better than Vandy, Mizzou, and Florida. Can't let C-Rod gash us. Got to get constant penetration from the front seven. Shawn, I'll explain that to you later. We must dominate the line of scrimmage. Can we get our old rec back from a receiver back from Alabama? He's not getting any PT. Whew. No Higgy,
nice.
every other word. Actually, that makes him more. Michelle, you may not believe this, but it makes it easier to listen to Higgy when you can only hear every other word. Yoda's laughing. Can't hear the dude at all with Higgy. Sounds like blah, blah. Again, that's a positive sometimes. Wes says that Marshawn's a redshirt junior, but I still believe that he participated.
He did.
In senior day. James says Brock is a good kid, but I don't see us scoring enough on the Smurf Turds defense without Malik, especially if they play like they did at home versus Georgia. I think Georgia wasn't taking that game seriously. I think
they weren't at all.
I didn't watch any of the game, but I would almost bet that their starters probably played about a quarter and a half, 2 quarters.
No, I think they played, but it's just they ran a very bland.
Oh, so
bland.
So
even
bland.
More bland in Scott's offense.
I don't believe you. It's hard to, but you just don't imagine Georgia not going in there and scoring 60 on them. It's just crazy. Let's look at Marshawn. Was a redshirt junior, 22, 21, 20. Wait a minute. No, that's a mistake on Go Cards because he
it's either that or something to do with that.
He played in 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019. He started all 13 games. 2018, he appeared in 4 games, and 2017 he redshirted. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's COVID. So no, he's not a redshirt junior. That's just a clerical error on their website. Average honky. Georgia left a bunch of points on the field. Georgia was there to do business and get out. I don't blame them. I don't like being there. That just get in, get out, leave.
Yeah, I know that Preston Brown doesn't like to be there. I heard.
Look, Preston Brown was supposed to be on the show tonight, but wanted to. I can't tell his business. Anyway, he wanted. I'll tell you half the business. He wanted to play video games today because he didn't think he was going to get to play any video games the rest of the week. So he's kind of in the news I was talking about earlier with the NCAA football. It's being widely rumored that the game's supposed to come out in July like it used to back in the day.
Ooh.
But I've been told I do have a connection. I know you are like, you got connections everywhere. Well, I worked for EA Sports for 5 years when it was here in Louisville. It's no longer the distribution center is no longer here in Louisville. But my guy that still works with them up in the offices in Louisville said he'd be absolutely shocked if the game was released in 2023 at all. So keep that in mind. Dang, gonna miss him, but Jamari Johnson is gonna be a stud, absolutely. All right, I have hardly read out, but when you're having a good show, you don't have to worry about your shot sheet. But keys of the game, predictions. If you force me to make a decision right now, I'm going 21-17 Cards. If Malik plays. Shawn, what about you?
Regardless of who plays, I'm going to go 24-10. I'm going 24-10. I don't think UK's.
You don't think the number 1 quarterback in the NFL draft will put up any more than 10 points?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm stupid. I shouldn't have said 17. Higgy.
24-21 Cards.
Okay. Higgy, you're not allowed on here anymore until you get either your internet sucks or your computer sucks. You're the only person that we ever have on the show that we have problems hearing them. Now, Dalton's internet, back when he had the Fisher-Price internet, we had a lot of connections issues with him.
It happens with me, though, sometimes.
Well, that's because you had that old Fairdale Backwoods internet.
True.
Where like 8 houses are connected to the same cord. What's the deal with Miranda? Fabian, I'll get to that in a second when we get to basketball. Higgy can step in at quarterback if Malik is out. Higgy's gone. He left.
He's going to study the playbook just in case.
He's still in his neighbor's Wi-Fi. Absolutely. Who, Higgy or Shawn? If Des Melton will push runner instead of pulling, we have her 4th and short. But that was awesome. I love that play. I didn't know that you couldn't help keep a player up. I knew you couldn't like shove them over. I guess I should have known that. That's pretty much.
No, you can push them from behind, but you cannot grab them and pull them like he did because he literally grabbed him and pulled him forward.
Well, next question, and we'll ask you all here on the chat line, and we're gonna try to hurry up and get out of here in about 20 minutes.
You bastard.
And Shawn probably in his basement wax shack. Jesus. He dang near picked him up. Michelle said he did pick him up. Helping the runner was the first. That's the first time I ever heard of that penalty as well. Shawn, that got to 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Brown has turned this defense around.
Mm-hmm.
Is it time to give either of them praise?
Well, definitely sad.
For sad, okay.
Definitely sad. Brian Brown, you kind of have to, though, because the guys don't make the plays that are not where they need to be, right? And they're making plays because he's getting them in positions to make plays.
Or I would disagree and say, excuse me, that the players were tired of looking mediocre and stupid on TV, so they stepped up to the occasion. And I'm not going to say anybody told me that. I'm not going to also say nobody didn't tell me that. But I feel like these players just kind of got in their bag a little. It was like, look, we're looking stupid. Let's do that. And honestly, the ignorance in the backfield stopped when MJ Griffin and Quincy Riley started getting a lot of more time.
And you can argue, though, that's I'm assuming he had some play in that decision to start MJ over Duncan.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So that's a win for him going, you know what? I'm putting MJ Griffin in there. Let's see what you can do, kid.
Okay, so here's how I'll go. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yay, let's keep Brian Brown forever. I'm not going to do that because I kind of know like this was more if we don't regress the rest of the season, I'll be ready to give him a pat on the back.
Okay.
I've told y'all all year 7 wins and he was staying. He got it 7 years. I told you on the final show of the year last year, here's what's going to happen. Y'all are going to keep pooping on Satterfield. He's going to win 9 or 10 games, which 9's still under the realm of possibility, and he's going to leave us. Now, I don't think he's going to leave us anymore. I think not after this year anyway. Maybe after next year. Uncle Larry says Higgy heard McDonald's ice cream machine was working again, so he left. Very possible. James says, dare I ask for a prediction on Louisville basketball versus Arkansas? We'll get to that in a second. Why did it take so long for Satterfield and Brown to make adjustments? Fabian, I don't know. Listen, after what we heard was going on the first game of the year where there was a lot of people that were unfocused, that Syracuse game was unfocused by the coach. It was the unfocused players. Like, I don't know what took them so long. Maybe hearing, hey, you're going to get fired is what shook, all it took for me to start acting right when I was a kid for my mama to pull that hickory switch off the tree and shake it at me. Maybe somebody shook one at him. I don't know. Michelle says whether they win the next game or not, I think they should get praise for the adjustments. I'll be glad to give Sad his praise regardless. I don't know that Brian Brown's made any adjustments. That's just me. Hope he stays. We need consistency. I need Sad to display hate towards the Smurf turds. That wins over the entire fan base. Absolutely. Let me get back on the board real quick. Bowl game again. I think our bowl game is after beating NC State yesterday, we are heading towards warmer temperatures. I think a Florida Bowl, a Texas Bowl, a California Bowl could all be in the cards for us if we beat Kentucky. If we beat the Smurf turds, I think we've already flipped over to. I think we played out of our colder destinations now. I think after beating NC State yesterday, we flipped and they went up north and we came down south. I think beating Kentucky will only improve that temperature and the magnitude of the game. Almost like Higgy's on here. Magnitude of the game we get to play in. What's up, Steve? What's up, Ben? What's up, Barry? Let's see. Bubba Ray says Sat finally shown signs of life. Why am I? It's because Higgy ain't here. AH says I think Sat was just too stubborn to change until Josh had a little conversation. Yeah, hey, get fired or no, Rito? I'm not apologizing to him yet. I'll tell you privately later, but I'm not just yet. I'm not. You're more than welcome to. Chris says Higgy triple option quarterback, paper, plastic, or eat it at the store. Good God. I know I accidentally said the K word. Smurf turds. My bad. Steve, what's up? I don't normally say that. 30 minutes after the game, I started getting phone calls about decommits and people that weren't at the football game that were supposed to. Hi, Allie. What's good? I'm sorry that they didn't notify you. I will file an injunction against them in the morning. I can tell y'all that we're no need to worry. The reason why Pierce wasn't there is because, as we all know, getting a flight to places is very difficult these days. He had a cancellation, and they weren't able to book to get that remedied at the last minute. So that's why he didn't show up. DeAndre Moore did do his visit, but he did it before the game. So he wasn't there he was there, I think, for the first half maybe, but he wasn't there for the whole game. So those kids, listen, they did show up. Well, everybody showed up except for Pierce. I truly feel like, as far as the other Bosco guys are concerned, that had something to do with the weather, and that there no need to worry about anybody else. 7-4 beat the crap. Pierce ain't going nowhere. No, but apparently 200 people thought he was just because he didn't come to the game. He's good. And Moore, like the person I spoke to, was very confident he was still going to be a Cardinal. Twitter was nice and quiet today, less negativity. Mine was, because I didn't turn it on all day. But that's what it was. They just had travel complications, no secret conspiracies. Basketball in Maui. Y'all saw them all last night on Instagram Live having a good time bonding. Should be time to relax and bond. We had Terrence Farley on the show Thursday night, and he told us about when they went to the Maui and they were able to get to know each other a lot better and vibe and gel and not be here around all the noise. A big game tomorrow versus Arkansas. I know a lot of people expect for us to come in here and lose by a lot. I don't think we're going to lose by a lot. I don't know that I feel comfortable enough to say we're going to win. Let me pull that up real quick. Louisville and Arkansas does not have a line yet as far as ESPN's concerned. 5 p.m. tomorrow on ESPN2. We currently have a 10% chance to win. Arkansas is at 89.8. Jesus. Their leading scorer, Ricky Council IV, is scoring 18.7 points per game, shooting 58% from the field and 69% nice from the free throw line. However, L. Ellis, he's beating them in everything but the field goal percentage, 24 points per game, 80% free throw shooter, 47% field goal shooter. So we'll see. I do think that we can lose the game tomorrow and still not get on Twitter and tweet everybody hateful stuff. I feel like as long as we see some things improve, as Allie just said, I just saw that, I think we'll be okay at that point. Here it is right here. Louisville men's basketball just tweeted Monday, November 21st, 5 p.m., Maui Invitational, all the details. I'll go ahead and retweet that in case y'all need to see that. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Why are we... Higgy's still on the show as far as this is concerned. Oh, it's because I turned the Wi-Fi off. Sorry. Well, look, it's live TV, pal. So stuff like this happens. I do think that it's going to be. There we go. I do think that it's going to be. You're going to see some improvement. You're going to see some things start to click and make sense. So, and before your favorite radio people say, "Man, these guys just spin. They're spinning things." No, we're just being patient. We're just giving facts. We understand what the game plan is. Kenny Payne is putting her. We will see Fabio and Reed down there this time. As long as they did what they're supposed to do. I agree. Sydney wakes up against a better competition, man. I really hope so. They'll have some unknown step up. I predict that we'll see more fight. Michelle says, I predict Sydney will be engaged. I hope so. Line is too big. Don't want to make us feel bad. Maybe. I need to see improvement. Okay. They need to travel with the team to UK. It would be a fun yet unorthodox visit. Yeah. No. Let's go, ladies tonight. Bounce back against Texas. I mean, I think they're playing right now. Shawn, look up the score while we're make yourself you can't.
I can't.
Gosh dang it. That's why I can never do anything, because I have to host the show and I've got to do all the fact check.
Well, while he's fact checking, I'll just say that I think this team's going to play a lot harder tomorrow. We're going to see, because that's the one complaint a lot of people have had, and to be honest, it has been somewhat legitimate, is that their effort level isn't consistent throughout the game. I think we're going to get it tomorrow night. And then they just got to continue to do that, build on that.
With 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the first quarter, the Cards are leading Texas 15-9. And we'll get you another update before the game's over with. James says Maui is like an AA meeting. So, hi, team. My name is Sydney Curry, and I like to get the ball in the block. Team responds, hi, Sydney. Nice to meet you. Lee says he stopped listening to Louisville Sports Radio. Much happier. Look, there's some guys on Louisville Sports Radio that I love, that I like. I mean, obviously, Steve and Marcus. I've known both of them for over 18 years. Known Steve for 18 years, and I've known Marcus. My God, that makes me feel old. For about 25 years, maybe. Yoda says, that's funny, James. Wesley says, other fans are getting so pissy over their crews and KP shooting the rock, saying they need to be practicing. Instead, shaking my head, the team needed this trip to get right mentally. Absolutely. Bubba doesn't listen to the radio because he can't reach it. He's not tall enough. Way better than the Louisville Sports Radio. I appreciate that. What time is the game tomorrow? 5 p.m. James Allen says 16-10 us. So is Michelle. Chris says small high school like Jim could be more comfortable for us. Less intimidating for sure. Honky says Rashawn. I don't say that name on my show. You tricked me. Fabian says go Lady Cards. So we don't say that either, man. You can't say Lady Cards. That gets a portion of our fan base riled up. It is the Louisville women's basketball team. So
and let's be honest, Coach Walsh has actually said that.
Yeah, he's actually said he doesn't want us calling them the Lady Cards. Yeah, but unlike Shawn, I've had the gosh dang it, Bubba.
Hey, Bubba, you bastard! Uneffing believable.
Gosh, man, y'all just go way too hard. No promo on Shawn
On Shane
and Hiffy. Shane and Hiffy, y'all just give them too much crap. That's my job.
Oh God.
But again, I'm not spinning. It's just facts. We got a reclass that we're talking to. That's a 5-star. We got high level transfers that we're going to get our hands on after the season, and there's a couple of commits that haven't signed yet that we're looking at. Also, there's another surprise kid that we are recruiting that will give you Gorgie Zhang vibes, like senior year Gorgie vibes. Plus, there's other things going on with these kids personally, like COVID messed a lot of people up, and them going to school and then practicing was affected. And I know it sounds like I'm giving an excuse. Elville Shane, says Bubba. It's Shane from now on, he said. How do we not have at least one guy in the discussion for Defensive Player of the Year? We should.
Mm-hmm.
Bradley says he listens to CSC, or CSC is greater than 93.9 from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 6. Okay, I'll take that because that only leaves me behind Steve and Marcus in their minds. And, those are my dudes, even though I think I'm way better than them. Just kidding. That's going to be on the show later. I don't know, RL. I don't know how we don't have at least one guy. Fabian says, go Cards. We need new ACC reps, says Aaron.
Oh, God, yes, we do.
Bradley says, facts. Bubba says, maybe if he changes his name, he'll score. Nah.
Jesus.
Y'all are just mean to him. That's my thing. Again, there are other things going on personally, so let's be a little bit easier on them publicly. I know y'all don't do that. My people don't do that, but there are some followers of other people that do. And there's a couple of players that are still learning. Like we talked to Farley the other day, and I instantly remembered I had to make sure he went to class. He had never, even as a 19-year-old freshman at U of L, he'd lived with his mom and dad. He never had to do anything for himself. His mom and dad, his high school coaches, all pampered and babied him, and he didn't get that. He almost got kicked off the team 4 times. What's up, Q? Did you hear about the 7-foot 8th grader at Cameron? Yes, I did. Aaron, I will not be like he who shall not be named. But it's like I remember I had to. Like I'd call him up. T, what are you doing? I'm going to get lunch. Well, practice is in like 15 minutes. Oh, crap. Well, I'll never be able to get there on time. I'm on my way. Went to go get him, got him there. Coach P said if you were 15 minutes early, you were 1 minute late. He called it Cardinal time. So if he told you to be somewhere at noon, you had to be there at 11:44. I turned Irish for a second. 11:44. So these are freshmen, Devin Ree and Fabio Baselli, that may not just be used to having to be responsible for
Remember,
themselves.
Fabio is a reclass too.
He's even younger.
Yeah, he's a reclass. So that's one thing that I look at and I'm like, I don't expect him to really start playing until probably after when we get into January.
Here's the thing. What I'm hearing from practice is that he's doing really well. He just can't get his off the court stuff.
So in other words, you got to earn it. I appreciate that. I appreciate that Kenny Payne's like, no, you got to do everything right.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, show up to practice and do great. You got to do because it's all matters. All the little things matter.
And apparently Devin's got some bowel issues.
God.
At least that's what it sounded like the other day. But yes, I'm going to be willing to give everybody slack on everything because of the circumstances that we've had to go through over the last couple of years. I know personally in my life, I've had to adjust on a lot of stuff, and it's affected me. So I can only imagine that it's affecting 17, 18-year-old young men. Bill Jones says, beat the Smurf turds, ASSSS. Chris says that does Arkansas post-game presser. Proud of our fight. Did a lot of good things. He does do that a lot. I think moving L to the 2 will help things out a lot. I know he wants to be a pure point guard, but that's not his game, says Wes. Bubba says I'll stay off Shane, just like most women do.
God dang it.
I can't. Mike said, didn't Fabio reclass? I don't know.
He might
what Mike's saying is that he reclassed, but then he reclassed back. I think that might have been what took us so long to get him announced because he was getting he's still 17, 18 years old, Mike. And I remember the decisions you were making at that age. So let's not even act like these kids who actually have girls chasing them around all the time. Unlike Shane. Sorry. Dan says, my biggest disappointment so far has been us, the fans. We're a toxic group and it upsets me. Dan, I won't say all of us. It's literally like, it's like I try to tell them up there. Our fan base probably has a good, let's say, 1 million person following. And there's like 200 jack-ins that are whining and pissing and moaning and complaining on Twitter every day. It's not a huge group of people. When I don't get on social media, there's not too many times I'm sitting around with my friends and family and they're like, man, Kenny Payne can't do it. He's got to go. Never. Only when I'm around Teresa's family, who are all Smurf turd fans, do I hear anything negative about anything. And I haven't been around them since Kenny was hired. And that's one of the, they may not even say anything then. So fans are expecting too much too fast. Absolutely. Bubba says he was working full time at 17. And Mike says, I'm not being hard on Fabio, just trying to remember. No, I understand completely.
But what I will say is a lot of people assume that there was other coaches in play, which there may have been. I don't know for sure. Like, a lot of people think Musselman was in play. A lot of people said, oh, Scott Drew was in play. Here's the problem. One, Scott Drew, look at what he dealt with down at Baylor. He was terrible when he first started because he was coming into a situation that was really bad, maybe even worse than ours, where he had a teammate murder another teammate. I
think that would be worse.
So it took him time.
Bingo, Bradley. The biggest problem are the local guys who didn't want Payne in the first place. I agree with you there.
Yeah, because they thought, oh, we can get Musselman. I don't care who it was. Coming in the situation they would have been coming into with the IARP about to announce their decision.
Nobody would have been able to do what nobody would have been able to do what Kenny's done. That's why I wanted Kenny, unabashedly wanted Kenny, because I knew that he could do the things behind the scenes to get this team ready that other people couldn't do. You can throw anybody out there, even Isaiah Miranda. Somebody asked about him earlier. I don't think we get him now. And it's not because of the IARP. Everybody else was because of the IARP. Miranda, it looks like he's just, when we started recruiting him, it was just us, Georgetown, and Temple that was recruiting him. now everybody's recruiting him. So it's kind of one of those things. Nobody ever said we were out for him, but they did say we weren't the leader anymore. And that was because he had 30 more schools start to contact him. So I don't know. I still haven't been told we weren't getting Miranda, but that's one of those things that was twisted around immediately and brought to me and was like, we're out for Miranda. Where'd you see that at? Sent me the tweet. I said, that does not say we were out for Miranda. That just says that it just says that we're not the leader anymore.
Nobody's recruitment opened up. I mean, things happen. I mean, recruiting's not this straight line, right?
Right.
There's going to be a few guys that it's immediate. They're going to come, they're going to visit, they'll commit. But most of the time, especially in the waters we're living in now, with all these 5 stars like Trenton Flowers and Carter Knox and Carter Bryant, it isn't going to be what people expect. Where, it's automatic commit. It's just not going to be.
And plus, with AJ, the thing is they told Texas told him Louisville's about to get banned. You want to play? You want to play in college for one season? You can at least have a chance to play in the postseason here. They made the agreement, and he was off the board. Like he'll be announced tomorrow. I feel like to Texas.
Yeah, it's not LSU. That's for sure.
Right. So that's them using, and that's the way it's been all summer, except for with Imani and Dior, and those were guys that come in and was like. KP, I'm paraphrasing, but KP, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Kenny, head coach Kenny Payne. Oh, I'm player 1. How much money am I going to make? These kids are making NIL money. Listen, from Sidney Curry all the way down to all the way down to Aiden McCool. They've been doing NIL stuff all year. They did a camp. Just to put this into perspective, I think I've told y'all this before. I may not have, but they did a camp maybe a month and a half ago that the coaches weren't allowed to be a part. It was the NIL camp. And they had 100 slots. They were all full, and they were like $2,500 a slot. And those proceeds were split between the players and the company to put together the event. These kids are doing just fine. Bill Jones says, I believe in KP, and I'm glad Coach Said is turning things in the right direction. Definitely don't want to start over with new coach unless we have to. I agree, Bill. Average Hockey, Mike Rutherford said 2 really powerful donors threw their weight behind Payne, and after that it was set in stone. I love Mike Rutherford, but this thing was set in stone 3 months before any of the local people started reporting that it was set in stone. I can show y'all text in my phone from people directly involved where they were like we were on the way home from the Royal Rumble, and I got the phone call saying that he was, and that was the last day of January, if I'm not mistaken. People here in the city didn't think it was a done deal till May.
No, I think right around second
March?
week of the tournament.
Was it March? Okay,
yeah,
or March or April.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I do know that I was privy to special information there that nobody else was, except for people I told. Chris says the whole Dior Johnson ordeal makes me feel right about KP. He wouldn't be playing if he were here. Well, no, didn't him and Imani both get gun charges?
No, Dior got some kind of, I want to say an assault charge. Now he ended up being cleared, but it was some kind of assault charge.
Right. We just didn't need that type of smoke around our program. And people are like, we missed on them. No, we decided not to take them because we didn't want any more negativity. And what y'all are failing to understand is us turning those kids down could have been the reason why the IARP let us off as easily as they did. They're like, look, they've not taken any questionable players. We don't know. Twitter's full of experts and insiders, says Bubba, the small guy Lindy. Aaron says, yep, on Dior. Not to mention Beard throwing the bag, SMH. I mean, I don't know about that. Aren't Miranda and Collier friends too? Yes, they are. Dan says, still remember the day 55 tweeted KP was interviewing. Last day of January, hired March 18th. There you go. And people are like, how do you know? I asked them. Brad says, oh, yeah, when that AJ commit drops tomorrow, it's going to be a bunch of 93.9 guys and the 680 guy bitching and complaining. Just don't turn your Twitter on tomorrow. Like, they're talking about Twitter ending, and that makes me sad because if Twitter ends, there's a lot of people I met there Well, that's even the reason why I'm talking to y'all, because they were able to give us such a big platform that that we could never repay them for the amount of shine that we've got because of them. So if y'all aren't following me on Twitter, you can follow me here. And of course we'll tell, and everybody else, you can follow, you can keep up with CSZ multitude of ways on Twitter. No, I mean on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. And what was I going to say? What was the other one I was going to say? And not Grinder, Shawn.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, go to cardinalsportszone.com and hit the subscribe button. A lot of people get the stories hours before you all, because that goes out immediately after we publish. Shawn edits and I re-edit, and then he publishes it. It goes to a select group of people first before you all get it. So how does I'm sorry, RL, I don't know how much either of them make. I'm trying not to sound rude. I don't care anything about them. James says we're free now of IARP, so things should get better, but it may not show till the 2024 class. Absolutely. Basketball can do a 180 a lot quicker than football with a couple of commits. Quentin says it's year one. Louisville will be fine, just going to take a little more time than expected. But who gave you those expectations, Quentin? That's my thing. I had somebody last week blame me for their heightened expectations. All I said was I wanted Kenny Payne because he could turn this around faster. It's not my fault that you think faster is 1 day after he takes the job, and faster to me means 8 months instead of 2 years like it would have been for everybody else. Can you imagine Eric Musselman taking this job and sweeping things under the rug that exposed himself the next season? And then y'all would have been like, oh man, maybe we should have got KP. Makes me glad I can't get on my phone at work. Absolutely. Maybe not expected, but perceived. Well, yeah, that's because Twitter is full of people that just make up their own expectations, and then when they're not met, they yell at me. Mike says, any word on TJ Robinson reclassifying? I see people on Facebook talking about it, but I haven't seen nothing. I haven't either. I'll look into that this week. I'll make Shawn do it. James says second quarter, 4 minutes left, 29-20 us. Oh, Q says I used the wrong word. Okay. Yoda says if it weren't for Twitter 55, I wouldn't be here watching. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I met so many great, like, y'all are people I could go out and grab food with. And we used to do, that's how I met Shawn. We did, when we were on 93.9, we did this thing called the Card Fam Luncheon. And every Saturday, or was it every Sunday?
It was like every month. It was usually Saturday. It was somewhere either a Saturday or Sunday, just depending on when people.
During football season, I think it was on Sundays. And we had such a good time. I met Shawn there. That's how I met Sam. That's how I met Doug Budd. That's how I met TBG. That's how I met a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna forget somebody. And
Beast Mode.
Our guy Turtle. I don't even know where he's swimming right now, but he's not been on Twitter anymore. But it's been such a. My point being, I met all those great people. I met all y'all great people, and I met, unfortunately, John. Through Twitter too. Actually, the first time I ever seen John in person, I was at the Yum Center for something, and I'm going down the escalator, and all I see is this Alfred Hitchcock looking mug walk towards me. He's like, "Hi, I'm John from Twitter, Bubba Ray," you know. And I was with my wife, and I was like, "Oh, isn't he sweet?" And I was like, never mind. The next joke could get me canceled. I'm not going to say. Shout out to our guy, by the way, getting all kind of people acting like they never knew him before. Our guy Gerald just completely dominated the coverage yesterday on ESPN and on Twitter this morning. I loved it.
Oh yeah,
Gerald and Micah. Look, Micah I think went to U of L with my dad. I saw him the other day at Louisville Live for the first time in like 4 years. You saw run into Micah at the malls, at the gas station, everywhere.
Yeah.
Gerald, I haven't ran into him anywhere but Louisville stuff, but great dude there. Met several amazing people on Twitter. It goes away. I can still contact them. Yeah, I know that sucks. You've got my email. Yoda says we would have never linked for sure. I did take pity on you, bub. Average Honky Jeff Greer's newsletter said AJ Dillon was picking between AJ Johnson. LSU and Texas. He wrote that last week. People really shouldn't freak out over this, but they will. Well, I told you that on the show. What was that, Shawn? 2.5 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We thought he was going to reschedule his visit.
Yeah.
And
then they told us that he.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, but they will. You're absolutely right. They will freak out. Really quick, we'll get this rapid fire in. I'll let y'all get to the end of y'all's questions. I'll let Shawn get home to do whatever he does in the basement closet. The number 6 women fell to Gonzaga last night, and they're currently playing Texas right now. It looks like we are up 29-20, maybe. Sky's falling, Bubba said. We'll get you an update on that before we go off the Actually, we'll do it right now. This is live TV, pal.
I ain't worried about the women, by the way, but I wish we did have.
You ain't worried about the women. We know, Shawn.
I wish they had another 3-point shooter, though. That's the one thing we had with Kiana Smith last year that we don't have yet that I've seen.
Why?
That was also what Sam said.
Absolutely. Hey, Sam covering the game live from the Bahamas. Why is Louisville not mentioned in these top 25 scores?
31-24 us, according to James Allen.
Okay. Thank you, James Allen. Yes, let's see what's okay. I don't know what's going on Twitter, but it looks like Steve and Rashawn are becoming fast friends. Sky's following. You guys are great people. Glad Twitter was the bridge to get me connected. Hey, and we're happy too. And we hope y'all tell all y'all's friends that are sane to listen to the show as well. Allie says, "What is the chance L. Ellis comes back because of the COVID year?"
I don't think
I don't know. I think it just depends on how he performs this season. I joined the show late, but how about them Cardinals yesterday? Absolutely. How good can the 24 class be? Yoda, I'm glad you asked me that. Before I get to the rest of the rapid fire, actually, we're going to put you. That's how we're going to know where we're at on the text line. Number 4 volleyball swept. Number 7 Pittsburgh travels to Notre Dame. I just hit my knee on the table. That's probably it hurt, and it's probably because I told Yoda he had to wait. So that's my bad. Travel to Notre Dame for Wednesday match at 6:30 before the ACC tournament next week. Again, Higgy writes the rapid fire. The number 9 men's soccer team, Dell, in the first round of the NCAT tournament to Western Michigan 2-1. Swimming and diving, his women's team finished first and men's team finished second in the Purdue Invitational.
Good job.
Former Card Tutu Atwell got his first NFL touchdown today versus the Saints. As always, check out the photo galleries. We got Jeff Nunn traveling to the armpit of Kentucky, Lexington, to shoot that game, and he's got a photo gallery that should be dropping here in the next.
Hopefully tomorrow or Tuesday, I would think.
I would hope so. I mean, he shot the game yesterday, had great footage. Not a Cardinals question. Okay, well then we're not going to answer it. Just yes, if you'd like to understand what I'm saying when I do the rapid fire, please subscribe to Higgy Grammarly Premium. That's $24.99 a month. Just go ahead and cash app that straight to me, and we'll get the translations for you. How good can the 24 class be, says Yoda. Sorry. I think it could be the best class we've ever seen. I mean, everybody remembers a class where we had DC and Earl and Sosa and Jerry and Stuart Miller. That was probably the best. If you knock my computer off, Shawn, I will beat that. I think it could be the best class we've seen at Louisville in our lifetime.
Even better than the ones in the 80s with the Camden connection.
Yes. Steven says, not a Cardinal question, but what about the pay-per-view last night? Great pay-per-view. Loved MJF winning the championship. Loved his speech after the after the show. They just don't have enough people. Like AEW needs more of a following, and they only had 800,000 people watch the last show before the pay-per-view. That's not good for any wrestling company. Master Yoda wants to know, are we losing any Flyville 23 commits? The only person I think we have a shot at losing is DeAndre Moore. I still would put my confidence rating in him at 90% right now. I was also told specifically that I'm not – the exact words were This person's probably sweating their sack off, thinking I think we're good across the board, is what I was told today. So I think we're good. I'll pray for his safety, Bubba says. Pray, I don't know whose safety. Dwayne says, you think we hit the portal hard on basketball? Not only do I think we hit the portal hard, I think we get like 3 or 4 guys who were all conference players. I think it's going to be good. If AJ picks LSU, then they aren't going to punish LSU at all. Yeah, we're not going to. He's not going to pick LSU. Like I said, I was told 3 weeks ago it was Texas or the G League, and the fact that he's making an announcement. I've never seen anybody make an announcement that they were going to the G League. Maybe they have. I just don't really follow G League announcements. Even Hooked on Phonics said no for Higgy. Okay. What kind of pay-per-view does Shawn watch in his basement? That would be the Boiler Room Brawl. Subscribe to Ringside Podcast for all your wrestling info. Absolutely. We have cheap pop there. We have interviews with all your WWE stars, all your OVW stars, your Impact stars. We've interviewed Dave Penzer, Earl Hebner, my guy, Bobby Lash. You know, I'm the only person in the history of podcasts I'm an honorary member of the New Day, the Hurt Business, and Judgment Day. All 3 of them have told me that I seem like the type of person that would vibe with them. And
you're going to end up managing like the most giant stable of all time.
I have to. Yeah, at Ringside Podcast, if you're a wrestling fan, join it. We do big things there. Brad says what has to happen in order for us to beat UK. As we were talking about earlier, we've got to frazzle Levi's 502 button fly and force some turnovers and score off those turnovers. This is a niche concern, but if we can ever get to Nike or Jumpman, I think we'll unlock recruiting. I think y'all remember me talking this summer about possible Jumpman collaboration. So can I say I'm really upset that I can't watch our women's basketball team for sure? Eric, DJ Ice Price. What's good, bro? My guy. OSU fans are overly confident they can flip Ruben Owens. There's no chance.
How?
I love. Well, here's the thing. They put one of those off 3 guys wrote an article the other day about it, tried to make it a huge deal. And then the first 50 comments underneath it was, he's too slow to play here. We don't like him. He's not good enough.
He's too slow. Oh, don't worry. If we play you at some point in a playoff, maybe someday.
None, since he's going to be in Lexington. Okay. How do you think we're doing the portal for football, especially since we have to read? I think we'll do really well. I think Sad has shown he can NIL us all the way to the promised land. 13 seconds left in the first half, and we are only up by 3, 35-32. Aaron Walker now hates Levi jeans. I've always hated them. They don't fit big guys very well. Shaggy from Scooby-Doo is giving the Smurf turds that work. Okay. Oh, are they playing 2 tonight? I honestly don't keep up. When I say that, I know a lot of y'all are like, oh man, you watch them some. No, I literally never turn them on. Mostly like Shawn and females.
God.
Uncle Larry says baseball team killing and recruiting again. Stable and in good shape for another year. Awesome. Allie says buttons suck when you're old and in a hurry. U of L tomorrow Fabian's predicting a Louisville win by 4. I thought we were only allowed to lose by 1 this season. 35-34 at halftime for the women's basketball team. Shout out to all of our fine sponsors. Y'all get y'all's last comments and thoughts and questions in right now, if you don't mind, while I do this thing we call the cold close. Shout out to all of our fine sponsors: Fitness Market, Shack in the Back Barbecue, 4Pick Smokehouse and Bar, Derby City Lawn and Landscaping, Derby City Lawn and Landscaping, All American Pool and Supply Company, and we're working on more. My eyes flashed for a second. If you'd like to sponsor the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, it's easy. Contact me or Shawn, and we'll get you the appropriate authorities as far as sponsoring this fine show. If you'd like to follow us on social media, you can follow us on all the social media avenues.
Oh my God!
Shane sponsored by KY Jelly and Clean. Why do I even read it? You can follow us on any of the social media avenues that are directly below or directly above Shawn's whipped cream head on his t-shirt. I don't know what that's for. And And if you'd like to help out the podcast and support it monetarily, that way we can do more stuff, get better equipment. This is something that we do for y'all. Underneath my microphone is where you can do that at. Cardinal, late but still great. Appreciate you, man. That was the one I told y'all we were missing somebody tonight, and it was Cardinal.
Hey, he showed up. We're good.
He did show up. As far as the podcast is concerned, like I said, you can find it on social media on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. You can also find us on all the podcast avenues, over 125 in all: Apple, iTunes, Buzzsprout, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google, Amazon, and iHeart. Hit subscribe, follow, stalk, chase, whatever you had to do. Hit that button now. If you haven't listened to all the episodes of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, go back and check them all out. Go to cardinalsportszone.com, the place it all began, and hit the podcast tab. Go to the drop-down menu, CSZ Podcast. Check out all of our exclusives and photo galleries at cardinalsportszone.com as well. Shout out to everybody who's out there sharing the podcast. We appreciate and love you all. And we appreciate our guys Steve Rummage and Marcus Maben doing the Lord's work on ESPN 93.9 The Ville, Monday through Friday from 10 to noon. No, Marcus doesn't pay me for that. He's too cheap. I'm just trying to get heat with Marcus. I'm going to call him after we're done and taunt him a little bit. Bubba wants to buy you some more socks. Brad wants to know if there's any possible reclassifications for 23. Yes, there are. Aaron Walker's Aaron says American Pie style. Shawn is the epitome of American Pie. Matt, look, when Yoda tells me to do that, we got to do it. So I don't know if it's going through the mixer or not. It used to, but I wasn't even done. He made me do the no. I was done. My last words are: Higgy has been trying to erase a dastardly dangling ding dong off of his house. Shawn, what are your last words, really quick?
Let's waffle stomp UK. Or sorry, waffle stomp the blue turds. Waffle stomp them.
He wants to waffle stomp the Smurf turd. Average Hockey said this one time at band camp. Master Yoda, else up, go cards, hit that like button, play that fire intro. We're doing it all. Yellowstone's on tonight. Go cards, take Arkansas to the train station. Let's get in that Razorback. You know what I'm going to say. Thanks again for all the support, you guys. We love y'all. No show Thursday. We'll figure something out. Y'all hit me up and let me know when y'all want to talk. This has been the Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast. Sorry. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I knew what you meant. I listen to Shawn and Higgy all day. I can decipher anything, bro. Anything. All right, y'all. Hope y'all have a happy holiday, a happy Thanksgiving. Spend time with your family.
Trip on that tryptophan.
It's going to be a tough one for your boy, but I'll get through it with some turkey and pumpkin pie. We're out. Go Cards. Later.